Cuba is a fascinating country to visit, and although there are many things to do, there are a number of things that you shouldn't do when you visit. Before I jump into this video, if you are enjoying what you are watching, then please hit the subscribe button on YouTube and make sure that you hit the bell that is right next to it so that you receive all notifications of when I upload a video. Here's a list of 10 things that you shouldn't do in Cuba. The first one is a pretty obvious one, but you'd be surprised how many people get this one wrong. And that is, don't exchange your currency on the street or with random people that you don't know. Even if they seem like they're very nice and their intentions are good and they're just, you know, spotting you a 20, don't do it. There are a lot of scams regarding the currency exchange in Cuba, and you definitely do not want to get involved in that, especially if you're just starting off on your trip. So always, if you need to change your money, look for official change houses. Do it in the airport, do it at the hotel, but whatever you do, don't exchange your money on the streets. This next one is a little bit surprising to some people. I've had a number of people come back from their trip sick because they didn't know that you should not drink the tap water in Cuba. Although Cuba is relatively safe when it comes to eating food, there are actually a lot of organic and very healthy restaurants available. You should always try to drink from bottled water, and even then, be careful of where you buy your bottled water. Inspect it first, make sure that it's actually sealed, because you never know, they could just be refilling the bottles with unfiltered water. If at the last resort you do need to drink the tap water, please boil it first. This is going to make it more safe for you to drink. The next thing that you shouldn't do while in Cuba is blow your nose while in public. This kind of seems like one of those weird ones, but in Cuba it's actually horrible manners to blow your nose in public. It doesn't matter how bad it is. If you do it, then you are an atrocious human being and possibly even a monster. So by all means, if you can avoid blowing your nose in a public place in Cuba, then please try to do it, just to be considerate of people and not to get any glares. Don't take pictures or videos of any locals without asking for their permission. And even if you get their permission, make sure that they really want to take a photo and they don't just feel pressured. They might actually be scared of having their picture taken or having their video taken in a specific place. So just be really careful with that and make sure that the person that you are photographing or that you are videotaping really is okay with that. Don't rely solely on public transportation like buses. Sometimes they might be late, they might be fully booked and you can't get on the bus, or they might not even show up at all. I've heard both sides of the story here. Some people have relied on the transportation and have been totally fine. Other people have been relying on it and not been fine. So just be really careful with that. And if you would like to use public transportation, just make sure that you have a backup in case it doesn't come through. But don't fret, because there are plenty of taxis driving around, especially if you are in a busy city such as Havana. You can pretty much just hail down one of those old classic cars and you will get a taxi. The next thing on the list might seem like I'm complicating things. Don't rent a car in Cuba. Even if you are an experienced driver and think that it's gonna be okay, I would suggest that you try to avoid renting a car. The roads in Cuba are very difficult to drive on. Sometimes they aren't even paved at all. And on top of that, fuel can be very hard to come by and expensive. And when you do find some fuel, it might actually be mixed up with water. This is so that they are able to sell more of it. And because of that, you might get really bad fuel that might actually break the car or might cause it to run badly. And even the locals are very hesitant about buying fuel from certain places. On top of that, the drivers can get pretty aggressive, and if you don't know your way around the city or wherever you are in Cuba, it can get a little bit challenging driving through all of those cars. Never leave your belongings out of sight. I know that this seems kind of like an obvious one for wherever it is that you are traveling, but I have heard stories of pickpocketing in Cuba, especially in the more popular condensed areas such as Havana, and particularly Havana Vieja, which is the old Havana district. If you have a backpack with you, then I suggest you flip it over to be in front so that you can always have an eye on your belongings. Don't be rude to the locals. Again, this might seem like an obvious one. Romina, be nice to people. But in Cuba, this is especially true because they will not bend over backwards for you if you are being rude to them, even if you are a customer. If you are being rude and just ill-mannered, then they will kick you out. It doesn't matter. They don't care about the money. They're going to kick you out. Following up on that, the next item on the list is do not complain about what you are being offered, especially if you are staying at a casa particular, which is sort of like an Airbnb scenario in which a local will rent a part or even a room of their house so that you can come and stay with them. Usually these people are offering the most that they can with limited resources available. So even if they are very nice and are promising you a lot of great things, please don't expect too much from that because they really are trying the best that they can. Last but not least, this is a super important thing that you should not do while you are in Cuba, and that is don't photograph or videotape any of the officers or people in uniforms. This is not allowed in Cuba at all, and I would not risk trying to sneak a photo of the police or government officials because they can punish you for that. And those are the 10 things that you shouldn't do while visiting Cuba. If you would like to know what are the things that you should do while you are in Cuba, then I have a video for that. Check out the description below to get an entire playlist of all of my Cuba videos, Cuba travel tips, as well as the 5 things that you should do in Cuba. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then please give me a thumbs up to let me know, and be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I am at REDROMINA. And again, if you haven't already, then please subscribe so that you don't miss out on all the videos that I put out every single week. But for now, I'm gonna go. So I will see you when I see you. Bye! This video was made possible by my patrons over at patreon.com/REDROMINA. If you like what I do, become a patron and be a part of the exploration.